Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. This is Market Today. I'm Sakshi Batra. With me is Shail Bhatnagar. We start off a new week. Remember, Friday's session had actually seen both the benchmark indices, the Nifty and the Sensex, hit fresh record highs. The Sensex climbing over 84,000 mark, and the Nifty also climbing above 25,800 for the very first time as well. But throughout the trading session, we did see a lot of choppiness also unfold before finally the Nifty ending 1.8% higher for the entire week as well, and it has now gained in 5 out of the last 6 weeks as well. Remember, from the budget day low exactly 2 months earlier at 21,281, the Nifty has now gained over 4,500 points as well. Not just that, the banking index has also surged nearly 2,800 points in the last 7 trading sessions, ending close to the mark of 54,000 on Friday as well. And now, as we move forward into this new week, it will be the September series expiry week. And now the focus will shift back to the domestic factors now that the major global event of rate cycle reversal is out of the way. Now, what's next for the Nifty after an 800-point rally in the last 7 trading sessions is something that we will find out today in our conversations with top market experts. Warm welcome and good morning to all our viewers, and good morning, Shail.
Namaskar, ladies and gentlemen. It's a wonderfully pleasant morning in Delhi. The festive air is upon us, and you can see it acting upon Dalal Street in a manner which is indescribably beautiful. We'll start with the daily chart of the Nifty right there in front of you, followed by the weekly chart. Needless to say, it was a record high on Friday, a blowout that happened 25,800 within kissing distance of the close. Of course, the market went above 25,800 on the Nifty, but a very nice 1.7 percentage point uptick on the Nifty that totals 434 points, and of course it's a blowout. Remember, the last week was the most crucial week for all global equities across the world. 50 basis point rate cut by the US Federal Reserve has triggered a global risk on trade. There is a wonderful FII number that Sakshi will give you for Friday, but for the past 5 consecutive weeks on weeks, the FIIs have purchased Indian equities on a net level, and last week's purchase totaled 20,385 crores, of which, ladies and gentlemen, 6,000 crores came into ICICI Bank alone. It was a combination of an MSCI rebalance plus the positivity that supports the private banking space in India. So the Nifty rose 434 points last week. Look at the stunning rally on the Nifty Bank. All put together for the last 2 sessions, the Nifty Bank has added 3,200 points. It rose 3.6% last week. That's a total of 1,855 points. And the week before that, it rose for 1,361 points. That was up 2.7%. All put together, last 10 sessions have yielded a rally of 6.3% and a total of 3,200 points. And ladies and gentlemen, there is more on way, because Bank Nifty has still underperformed Nifty on a dramatic level on a year-to-date basis. Keep an eye out on ICICI Bank. Of course, there might be some profit booking, some kind of pause in today's trade, but this is the stock to watch. All put together, 6,000 crores of foreign money came into this particular counter on Friday alone. Now, what else is exciting? I would like to juxtapose the rally that is happening on the Nifty and Bank Nifty versus Nifty Mid Cap Select. Ladies and gentlemen, we've pointed this out to you that you now need to look at the large caps to make more money compared with mid caps, which are undergoing a very strong bout of profit booking. The Nifty Mid Cap Select, whose weekly expiry is today, actually lost. It went down 234 points last week, down 1.8%. So this could be the beginning of a churn where money moves away from small caps and mid caps into large caps. Please keep this in eye. And of course, the most important stock to watch would be ICICI Bank in the week ahead. It might pause, but look at HDFC Bank, look at Axis Bank, look at ICICI Bank to see similar moves that are coming into ICICI Bank. What else is in focus, ladies and gentlemen? Those people who buy equities and hold will make far more money than daily traders. Please keep this in mind. We have very strong moves coming into large caps and mid cap, large caps in particular, Nifty and Bank Nifty. That's the way forward. Look at large cap funds, look at Nifty ETFs that might outperform diversified equity mid caps and small caps. Stocks to watch, ladies and gentlemen, just two sets. When things were just about to get better for the PSU stocks, remember 10% rally on Cochin Shipyard on Friday. Look at HUDCO, look at IRIDA. 5 public sector stocks have been bought into the additional surveillance mechanism of the National Stock Exchange to prevent any kind of an investor mishap. While that's a bit negative as far as sentiment is concerned, but they've been beaten down so badly that you will see quality buying again resurfacing on many of these counter. And of course, Vodafone Idea, the disappointment of last week has been sort of on the positive side. The company has announced a $3.6 billion expansion plan to improve its 3G, 4G networks and perhaps even launch 5G. This is 50% of the planned expansion, which was $6.6 billion. So keep an eye out on Vodafone Idea, plus also Indus Towers, which will be the most biggest indirect beneficiary of this particular expansion. Sakshi, now please share with us the FII number that came in for Friday, and of course what are the cues coming in from Wall Street?
Absolutely. So it was a massive figure on Friday as far as the FII purchases are concerned. 14,064 crores worth of Indian equities is something that the overseas investors, bought in a single day. Although this is skewed, like you also pointed out, with respect to the FTSE rebalancing. So 8,000 crore rupees of this was with respect to that. Domestic institutional investors turned net sellers after 5 days of buying, and they sold worth about 4,427 odd crore rupees as well. Now on Friday we did see that the Wall Street saw a volatile trade and they ended mixed after the volatility. We've seen, however, that the Dow Jones managed to end at fresh records again, 42,063, but the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq they slipped about 0.19% and 0.36% respectively. Now as far as the Asian markets are concerned, remember Japan's Nikkei is closed for trading today. Among the others, ASX 200 was down about 0.7%, Hang Seng was unchanged, Shanghai was flat with a negative bias as well. Kospi was, however, up by about 0.2% in trade as well. The GIFT Nifty is now indicating to a positive start. It could be at 25,900. That could well mark another milestone and also a fresh record high levels for the markets as well in trade. So we'll keep an eye out on that. And apart from this, we've also seen that the Brent crude futures, they were up by 0.36% to $74.76 a barrel. So we'll keep an eye out on that one too. Now, apart from this, we'll also focus on some of the stocks right there. Remember, Vodafone Idea is something we'll look at. The company has now signed a $3.6 billion deal with Nokia, Ericsson and Samsung for the supply of network equipment over a period of 3 years. And this is the first step for the company's 55,000 crore rupees capex plan as well. Apart from this, SpiceJet will be in focus. The airlines has approved the issuance of 48.7 crore equity shares at an issue price of 61.6 rupees per share to raise 3,000 crore rupees via QIP. From the Adani Group, I'm keeping an eye out on Adani Total Gas. The company secured a funding of $375 million from international lenders to expand its city gas distribution network. BHEL will also be in focus. The company has received a massive order worth 6,100 crores from NTPC for an EPC package, about 800 megawatts CPAT supercritical thermal power plant. Dr. Reddy's from the pharma space will be in focus. US FDA has inspected the Hyderabad R&D center for the company and closed it with zero observations. Good news coming in there. Tata Steel, the company has successfully commissioned a blast furnace at Odisha, and the company will be investing 27,000 odd crore rupees in the phase 2 expansion right there, increasing the site's overall capacity from 3 million tons per annum to 8 million tons per annum as well. From the auto ancillary space, you can actually keep an eye out on Samvardhan Motherson. The company has raised 4,938 crores via QIP. Matrimony will be in focus. So remember, last month it also came back in focus again. The company will now be launching a jobs business called Many Jobs to focus exclusively on the grey collar jobs market. The company is planning initial launch for Tamil Nadu market in both English and in Tamil as well. Again, from the pharma pack, I'm keeping an eye out on Mankind Pharma. The company has approved raising of 10,000 crores via NCDs and commercial papers. Keep an eye out on that one. Hind rectifiers will be in focus. A 200 crore rupees order from Indian Railways has come into the company's kitty. We also know HDFC Bank will be again in focus. The lender subsidiary HDB Financial Services is planning an IPO comprising of a fresh issue of 2,500 crores and an offer for sale by existing and eligible shareholders again. And the last one that I'm looking at from the pharma pack is again Aarti Drugs. US FDA has issued a Form 483 with 7 observations for the API manufacturing unit at Tarapur. None of the observations, however, relate to data integrity. Those are the key stocks that I'll be keeping a keen eye out on. Shail.
Ladies and gentlemen, 8:44 p.m. Very shortly, Mr. Amar Singh from Angel One and Vaishali Parekh from Prabhudas Leeladhar will be joining us to help us navigate the market. But just keep an eye out on the following stocks. Remember, it's the interest rate cut theme that is running broadly in the market. In the F&O space, where we have the weekly expiry this week on Thursday, the monthly expiry this week on Thursday, you have banks amongst the top gainers. The top gainer is of course MCX, up 15%. Look at how autos are reacting, and especially two-wheelers in this theme that is running across the board. The festive demand, as also the cut in the rate of interest, which will reduce EMIs. Hero Motors is up 11.6%. Bajaj Auto is up 10%. There is Bosch Limited, which is an auto ancillary, 11% higher. And then you have the likes of the NBFCs, you know, the Cholamandalam Finance 10% higher, Shriram Finance 10% higher, and of course SBI Card, the spending theme 8.9% higher. These are amongst the top gainers as far as the September F&O expiries is concerned. And where do you see profit booking? Well, none is spared in the PSU setup. ONGC, fall in crude oil prices, down 13.4%. Indus Stars down 13%. Power Finance Corporation down 3%. Then you have BHEL, GAIL Authority, Petronet LNG, all of them coming under severe profit booking as far as markets are concerned. Joining us now is Mr. Amar Singh, Senior Vice President for Research at Angel One. Namaste Amarji, and a very warm welcome because you head research at Angel One. I'd just like to know your call on private sector banks. The rally has been phenomenal over the last 15 days on Nifty Bank. What would be your top pick, and what is your view on ICICI Bank?
Yeah, I would say that we are definitely witnessing some very solid move in the private sector bank, and both the ICICI Bank and HDFC Bank. Even we are seeing some very good movement in Kotak Mahindra Bank. So ICICI Bank continues to remain very strong on the charts, on the long-term charts. It did witness some sort of consolidation towards the 1150, 1200 levels. But that's taken that out, and it's up by almost 7% for the week ended. So this is, I would say, this and also the significant rally which we witnessed in HDFC Bank, which was up by almost 4.5% last week. So these are what are driving the Bank Nifty, and Bank Nifty is also trading at record highs. And both HDFC Bank and ICICI Bank have a significant weightage in Bank Nifty, so that's also really helping this. I would say, as far as HDFC Bank is concerned, ICICI Bank is concerned, it's a buy on dip. There's no trend change, so I wouldn't recommend any shorting.
Amarji, warm welcome. Very good morning to you as we start off this new week. You know, the FIIs have poured in, and how they have returned to the Indian markets with full vigor. What do you make of that? And do you think this is the start of full-blown inflows that we are going to be witnessing from here onwards within the FII space? And what does that mean for the Indian markets?
So if we look at the FIIs, so FIIs definitely have been positive, and we've seen some significant amount of money coming in close to last week, or almost 14,000 crores, which we've seen. So FIIs have been positive, and what I see is that the trend is likely to continue, because the sharp rate cut which happened in the US is likely to continue going forward. So it's not going to be a one-off affair. It's going to be a sequence of rate cuts which is going to happen. So it could be further. So a lot of money flows could happen or could take place in India, but at the same time, it's going to be very selective because some of the pockets are highly valued. So a lot of money could move in large caps to a certain extent and in specific stocks and sectors. But yes, this could be an opportunity for India. How well we are able to capitalize on that, that's something to be seen. And where we stand in relation to the other markets is also an important aspect that FIIs and FPIs will definitely keep a close watch on.
Okay. Amarji, we've seen the last 2 weeks belonging to private sector banks on which you have spoken very well. Auto is in top shape because of festive demand as also new launches and of course the price cuts that are in offering as far as four-wheeler passenger vehicles are concerned. Apart from these two, which are interest rate sensitive sectors, what according to Angel Research is the sector where you will see money being rotated into? Which is your next best sector to look at after auto and private banks?
I would say that we've also been positive on the specialty chemical space and the pharma space for quite some time, as well as the IT space, because IT is also done quite well. We did witness some sort of consolidation, but there's another sector in the automobile space which we've been quite positive on, and that's the two-wheeler segment, because there we've seen some significant growth month on month in terms of the sales numbers. If you look at the passenger vehicles numbers, that's come off, but the two-wheeler segment has really taken off. If you look at the price rise in Bajaj Auto or TVS Motors or Hero MotoCorp, so they have all really testified that this segment is doing quite well, and with the festive season also coming couple of weeks later, so that also would be positive. So these are few sectors which one can keep a close watch on. But yes, at the same time, we see a lot of rally has happened already in the pharma space. You take most of the names, they've witnessed significant rally, or anywhere between 30%, 50% rally, which we witnessed in the last couple of months. And the same is witnessed in the two-wheeler space. But any pullback or correction can be an opportunity to look in these sectors.
Okay. Amarji, I wanted to ask you on the entire telecom space, including Vodafone Idea as well. There was a carnage across the telecom space last week, led by the Supreme Court's, dismissing the curative plea that was made by telecom companies for some relief on AGR. Vodafone Idea was the worst hit. That saw about a 20-21% cut on, the day itself. But today there is some other news that the company has signed some $3.6 billion deal with Nokia, Ericsson and Samsung for the supply of network equipment over a period of 3 years. Is there any respite in sight for telecom companies like Vodafone Idea, or should one actually stay away from this volatile space as of now?
If you look at Vodafone Idea, the stock has almost halved from its recent highs, and that also recent high was not very far off, because if we go back on 28 June, it had made a high of almost 19 something, and recently it has made a low of almost 10. So the stock has corrected by almost 50% in a very short span of time. So that clearly tells me that the stock is being driven a lot by the happenings which are taking place in terms of the recent, as you rightly said, the Supreme Court judgment which had come in, and also the earlier debt issue which the company is grappling with. So how much the company is able to salvage through these deals of, because ultimately a deal would be an expenditure also for the company. So how much are they actually making out of that deal is something important, but it's definitely tough for Vodafone Idea. So it's very ironical, I would say, that if you look at the telecom space, if you look at the charts of Vodafone Idea on one hand and Bharti Airtel on the other hand, you see a completely different picture. Because Bharti Airtel, if we see, it's at record highs and is showing no signs of any weakness on the long-term charts. On the intermediate-term trend, it did consolidate, but again has taken off. So I would say rather on corrections, one can look at accumulating Bharti rather than get into Vodafone, which we really don't know how it's going to play out.
This is a fantastic advice coming in from Amar. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, you have to keep on riding your winners and you have to exit your losers. This is a very hard reality of the equity market, that a stock that doubles is the one that doubles again. You have a very good example of Bharti Airtel in front of you. This is not to say that from 1600 it will go to 3200 in a very short while, but that, ladies and gentlemen, is the trend that has been set by the market, and we are no one to question it. If you don't follow the trend, it's best to stay away. Please don't short that trend. That would be the worst thing to do. Amarji, because there is such critical demand on the research team of every single brokerage to come out with good investment and trading ideas for the coming week, for the rest of the year, for maybe the 2 or 3 year horizon. What has been the latest output from the angel stable when it comes to quality mid caps or large caps that you would that you have actually advised your clientele to buy?
So if you look at stocks, we've had some in the pharma space. If you look at Piramal Pharma was one stock which we have been we had for our short-term views as well, wherein almost at 160, 170 we were recommending this. Currently it's around 218 to 220. So this is one from the pharma space, very strong on the charts. Any pullback is a buying opportunity. Currently it's around 218. It's in a slight corrective mode right now from 243 odd levels. Ideally around any further correction towards 200, 205 can be a good buying opportunity one can look at from a short-term perspective, because at the current levels one needs to remember that markets are trading at record highs. So entering and staying for a very long period of time at the current levels might not be a very good idea unless you plan a stock SIP or in your portfolio, because that's the only way, because markets are currently they're not as volatile, but we could witness going forward some increased volatility as well. So having said that, that's one stock one can look at, and also BHEL is one stock one can keep a close watch on. The stock has corrected. It's strong on the long-term charts. Intermediate term, we are seeing some sort of consolidation. So it's got very strong support coming on the 240, 250 levels. Almost from 350, the stock has corrected. 335, the stock has corrected. Currently it's around 266. Any pullback can be a buying opportunity from a short-term perspective. Upside target would be around 285, 290 levels.
Okay, got it. So we'll keep an eye out on these key stocks. Remember, BHL has also got an order, so that will also be something that will trigger the stock today. The other space, Amarji, I wanted to draw your attention to is the entire finance space within NBFC space. Stocks like Cholamandalam Finance, stocks like L&T Finance, they are coming on the radar of brokerage houses. Higher targets are coming in from companies like Investec, which has upgraded Cholafin to buy and raise the target price to 1850. Goldman Sachs has come out with a buy rating on L&T Finance with a target price of 202. The entire space has also been in the thick of action, especially the housing finance names have also been very well in traction all across last 10 days or so. Is there still steam left within this space? Where do you think investors should keep their focus if this space is to be tracked now?
I would say if you look at the financial space, we've seen some very sharp moves in Cholamandalam. We've seen some very sharp moves in the banking space as well. And if I look at amongst the financials, banks are also one can keep a close watch on. So Kotak Mahindra is one stock one can keep a close watch on. Currently, it's around 1900 odd levels. Sustaining above 1920, 1930 odd levels, the stock could witness a rally towards the 2000, 2040 levels. So that's one stock one can keep a close watch on. And looking at the other stocks which you mentioned, for example, L&T Finance, again, we've seen some strong momentum building there. So that's something that one can keep a close watch on as well, L&T Finance.
Because Amarji has mentioned Kotak Mahindra Bank, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to point out the Friday's close was the highest since December 2023. So you're looking at least a 10-month uptick, 10-month high on Kotak Mahindra Bank. While this is very good, but remember, since of October 2021, this is 4 years now, the stock has done nothing. The October 2021 high was 2300 rupees, and you have Kotak sort of being available at 1900. Nothing has gone wrong with the company, but these are long periods of inaction and rest that frontline stocks undergo. In fact, all stocks undergo, and this is possibly an opportunity to maybe ride that momentum back into the counter. Only time will tell, however, how will this work out, but do keep an eye out on Kotak Mahindra Bank. Ladies and gentlemen, we are waiting for the market to give its first click on Monday. This is likely to be a strong opening, mainly because the GIFT Nifty pointed to a 50-70 point uptick. Sakshi, I wish I could close this market now, 25,910, a 100 point uptick coming in. In fact, it went all the way up to 25,962. We will see what kind of moves are coming in as far as gains are concerned. There is a blowout on Reliance Industries, ladies and gentlemen, 46 points higher. 3,000 is back on the charts, 33,018 for you. Now look at Axis Bank. I just want to focus on banks for a while. 10 rupees higher, 1255. Let's look at how ICICI Bank is moving. The quote is still to come in. But how about Kotak? 5 rupees higher. You have SBI 8.2 rupees higher. So this is going to be a good day as far as Bank Nifty is concerned. How about Bajaj Finance? 72 rupees higher. This is really good, 76.55. And how about the losers side? TCS is pulling down the Nifty, 5 rupees lower, 42.80. HDFC Bank is in the green, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be another strong day for Bank Nifty, 6 points higher, 1747. Sakshi, what is really good news is that 9 out of 10 index heavyweights have opened in the green, led by none other than Reliance. So this is going to be a great day for the Nifty as well. Very quickly, we'll delve into NSE 500. Okay, there's a 5 percentage point uptick on Indus Stars at 405. Remember, this is a high dividend paying company. It was beaten down unnecessarily because of the Vodafone Idea problem, and it provides an opportunity for long-term investors to get back into this counter. What else is in the green? Sakshi pointed out an order win for BHEL. Amarji has pointed this counter out, 7% higher, 285. What else is in the green? Thermax Limited, Gujarat Ambuja Exports, 433% higher. This is looking good as far as gainers are concerned. Let's look at the most active list so far, and you have stocks like Lodha. So this is again the real estate theme working very well, 6% higher, 1485. Muthoot Finance, I forgot to mention that gold prices have topped out at $2,600 an ounce, and Muthoot and Manappuram Finance are two stocks to watch. Muthoot Finance 3% higher, 2048. You have K Fintech almost 4% higher. This is how it is, ladies and gentlemen. The Nifty settling sensibly 41 points higher at 25,831. Sakshi, what are you looking at?
I wanted to check how Glenmark Pharma is opening today. Remember, there's an Investec report on Glenmark which has initiated a fast long on the counter with a target price of 1900. They expect both the earnings momentum and the cash flow generation to continue aiding the ongoing re-rating. Yes, there is a 3.3% uptick on Glenmark Pharma at 1690 odd levels. So keep an eye out on that too. Apart from this, let's also see there could be some downticks also on the basis of some brokerage houses reports. So Fusion Micro is something that has been downgraded to sell by Investec with a target price that they have cut to 300. The board has also announced a profit warning for Q2, indicating possibility of a credit cost of 5.5 billion rupees versus 3.5 billion rupees in Q1. Yes, there is a 10% downtake on Fusion Micro at 275.9. So keep an eye out on that too. There is a sharp, trend on the downside for this one. Let's also look at these others that we were talking about. The positive reports by Investec, Chola Finance, which has been upgraded to buy with an 1850 target, which we discussed with Amarji, whether there's some kind of an uptick right there, and L&T Finance also, where Goldman Sachs has a buy rating and a 200 to cross 202 rupees target as well. There is a flattish move on Chola. L&T Finance also flattish with a positive bias. Let's look at Concor. Morgan Stanley came out with a report with a target price of 1083. They believe the measures announced to boost EXIM trade, risk margins, zero cost storage for empty containers for 90 days and 50% cut for charges beyond 90 days is something that they are looking at for Concor. And that's also flattish at about 900 odd levels right now. Hind rectifiers is something that I wanted to check on the basis of the order that we had seen. Let's look at that one too. 5% uptick, yes, 858 odd levels for Hind rectifiers. That's also come in after that 200 crore rupees order from railway space has come in. Let's get in Amarji to address some of these stocks. Amarji, stocks like Concor, Hind rectifiers, railway related and infra related story when it comes to the railways. How would you look at some of these stories now?
So if we look at some of these stocks, like Concord to start with, the stock has corrected significantly because almost from recent highs, the stock had made 1180 in June, first week of June. The stock is currently trading around 893. So the stock is approaching very crucial support zones. Maybe we could witness a pullback, but the pullback is likely towards the 1000 mark. So it's more of a trading play for Concord. Looking at the other railway stocks, if you ask me, for example, if I look at RailTel, again, we've seen some sort of consolidation. So most of the PSU stocks, we are seeing some sort of pullback. The only question is that will the pullback sustain? That's the key question across the board for most of the PSU stocks and even the defense stocks and the shipping stocks like Shipping Corporation of India, or for that matter HAL, or for that matter Bharat Dynamics. Most of these PSU stocks are witnessing some pullback, but whether they are going to sustain is something we have to watch out for.
906, ladies and gentlemen, we have with us a lady luck. Vaishali Parekh joins us. A very good morning to you, Vaishali. Two stocks that you think will outperform today in the market. Record highs all across the board. Very difficult to stop ICICI Bank. What looks good on the charts, and what are you advising your clients for the medium term? What are the charts telling you?
Very good morning, all of you. Yes, we have seen a very good exuberant move last week, and I think we should continue to see. It still is a buy on dip market. So I would say now for this week, Market Nifty would take support at 25,500, and we can look at 26,100 to 26,200. Now, Bank Nifty for the first time has given a breakout in its all-time high now. So now we have the next projected target of 55,500. So I would say now 53,300 would act as a support, and 55,500 would be the next target resistance. So having said that, of course, banking stocks are still looking very buoyant. So well, Kotak Bank is sustaining very well. That is one stock to our liking. HDFC Bank too sustaining at higher levels. So I think still further upside is expected. And ICICI, of course, continues to be an outperformer. So we continue to stay bullish on all these. But on what I'm seeing that the auto index has also started showing a lot of strength. So Mahindra and Mahindra, Maruti, they would be the stocks to watch. And along with that, even the metal sector looks quite promising. So for new buying strategy, I would say Maruti. And because Mahindra and Mahindra, we are bullish, it has already shown a good run up, but Maruti still has a lot of upside. And as far as metal sector is concerned, I continue to stay positive on Hindalco and JSW.
Okay, got it. Very good morning to you, Vaishali. So good to have you with us yet again on the start of another week. Seems like we are going to be having a record start yet again for the markets today with your presence with us. The space that I wanted to also focus on with you is the entire PSU space, stocks like BHEL that we have focused on a lot. Positive triggers by way of order flows coming in. Amarji has also given his, thumbs up to BHEL. How would you look at it technically?
So technically, BHEL, BEL, they are all consolidating. There is nothing much to say right now. But I would say that yes, the only thing is it has taken support on the 200-day moving average, and today we see a gap up opening. So I would say that yes, 250 acts as a very good support, and 280 for the near term acts as resistance. So once we see this stock moving about 280, it can go towards 300 to start with.
Okay, got it. So the Nifty may be indicating an opening at around 81 points higher, 25,872. That could be again a record high level, viewers. So brace up for another day of sharp moves on the markets. All the sectors seem to be opening higher, with realty, oil and gas, metals, all of them in the thick trade. PSU banks also returning, and small caps also jumping about 0.7% is what the indication is. On the Nifty in the pre-opening trade, what's indicating is that only 3 to 4 stocks may open in the red. Rest of the stocks may actually open in the green, with Tata Steel, HDFC Life, ICICI Bank, as Shail has also pointed out, and so has Amarji, NTPC and ONGC. These could be the stocks that could be opening in thick trade. Shail.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd also like to point out 3 or 4 stocks in particular, starting with Cochin Shipyard, HUDCO and IREDA. Remember, these are the erstwhile market favorites for the traders side as far as the PSU theme is concerned. They are into the additional surveillance mechanism for the exchanges. Remember, Friday was a blowout on this one. Perhaps the resurgence of the long side trade on these 3. But then in came a circular late evening that the exchange has placed them under additional surveillance. It essentially means that you will have to pony up 100% cash to buy these stocks, and of course the circuit limits have been changed lower. So all of them are now at the 5% circuit as far as prices are concerned. A very quick look at how these stocks have moved. Cochin Shipyard 3% higher, 1904. Today's close will be watched very, very minutely. It essentially means that whoever is buying is coming up with 100% money, and that is what something needs to be appreciated. You have HUDCO and IREDA right there in front of you. PSU theme, Vaishali, to you. Which is the stock that seems to have corrected the most and possibly could give better returns for traders and investors from current levels?
I would say actually defense stocks. I mean, if you go to see all these Cochin Shipyard, Muscat Docks, the whole sector on the whole has corrected substantially. So this makes it a fair value as far as the risk reward is concerned. I think one can start accumulating these stocks, and so also is the case with the railway pack. So I would focus more on all these.
Okay, got it. Well, several stocks that could be in the thick trade today. HDFC Bank is another one that we will be keeping an eye out on the subsidiaries planned IPO. Remember, that stock could be in thick focus too. It's indicating a 0.5% higher move. Let's look at that. Let's also look at Mankind Pharma. That's another one that is showing trends of an upside. Remember, there's a 10,000 odd crore rupee fundraise that the company has approved. The other one that I'm looking at is Adani Total Gas as well. Remember, we've also shared with you the news flows right there, and the stock is actually indicating a higher start. The company secured a funding of $375 million from international lenders, so keep an eye out on that too. There's a 7% uptick on this one. Vaishali, anything in the Adani Group stocks that attracts you? Last week we also saw some movement coming back onto stocks like, say, Adani Ports, Adani Green also. Today it's Adani Total Gas. How would you really look at the Adani stocks?
So when I'm looking at Adani Green, Adani Total, I think Adani Ports also, they have not really participated at all. And now it's gradually getting into a trend, and Adani Green and all these stocks have got good pickup in volume also. So I think they should show some rally from here on.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the pre-open trade has settled 81 points higher on the Nifty, 25,872. I'll request the PCR to fire the Glenmark Pharma chart very quickly. Vaishali, to you. A lot of positivity coming into this counter because of zero observations from US FDA, which was conducting an expansion on its Aurangabad plant all of last week. What are the charts telling you? It's a gap up as far as today is concerned. And what is the likelihood that you might just see a fresh record high?
Quite likely, because first of all, gap up showing inherent strength. Near-term resistance 1720. Once we see this stock moving above 1720, this is ready for a takeoff to 1770. That would be the first target. That is the previous high. And from there on, we can have a relook. We can see a further high because there is no exhaustion even in the indicators. I think it's ready for a new round of momentum showing a lot of strength.
Okay. Very quickly. Yeah.
As far as prices are concerned, another day of green on Dalal Street. This is how the pre-open trade has settled. We'll be keeping an eye out across the board on important things to look at. 75 points higher on the Nifty, 25,874. Bank Nifty slightly on the back foot, but this will improve for the better. Nifty 500, ladies and gentlemen, this is the index to watch. It shows higher gains, 83 points higher, 24,275. A red tick on the IT index as well. This will improve for the better. Now let's look at stocks that are making this click in the green. Okay, L&T 29 rupees higher, 38.23. Bajaj Finance in the green, 13 higher, 75.94. Kotak Bank, watch this one out. Vaishali, will come to you on Kotak very shortly. 14 rupees higher, 19.16. Now what are the other banks doing? ICICI Bank, bit of profit booking, nothing to be worried about. 9 rupees lower, 13.29. Axis Bank 2 rupees lower, 12.43. How about HDFC Bank in the green, 2.25. 4 rupees higher, 17.45. What is Infosys doing? Infosys green, TCS green. So Nifty is looking better than Bank Nifty, and that is what is the indication coming from the index. The game today will be on 25,900, ladies and gentlemen. You already have a new high. Very, very quickly, let's get into the NBFC space. Top gainers, Glenmark Pharma, blowout, 7% higher, 17.55. This is most likely to make a record high. Cochin Shipyard, 4% higher. I also want to see what HUDCO and IREDA are doing. These are stocks that will set the trend despite the theme that is coming in from the BSC. I can't see HUDCO immediately right there in front of me, but HUDCO is flat, 250. GHI, what is IREDA doing? IREDA is again 0.5% lower, 231. Okay, we'll wait for it to pan out. Sakshi will mark Adani Total Gas. HFCL 4% higher, 168. You need to look this out. Indus Stars 3% higher, 400 is back on the charts. Bharat Dynamics, it's going to be a defense day. BHL 1.5% higher, 270. Vaishali, very quickly, is the next stock in the banking sector Kotak Bank to ride on the coattails of this good rally? What do you think?
I definitely think so, because after a very long time, it has come out of its range and now ready to retest the previous high of 1925, 1930. So once we see the stock moving above that, I think it's ready for a further next target of 2000 plus.
Okay, got it. So record high opening for the Nifty mid cap index as well. Sharp moves being seen across the board. All the sectors barring just flattish with a negative bias trade on IT and private banks. Rest of the sectors are all up and about. Stocks like M&M, Bharti Airtel, Bajaj Auto, Shriram Finance and Divi's are the top movers on the Nifty right now, viewers. Glenmark Pharma is the top F&O mover, as Shail has already marked. Vodafone Idea, is also zooming in trade. I think about 6-7% higher in trade right now. You also have Indus Towers that's also moving in. Let's get Vaishali to talk about the telecom space. Sharp reversal on Vodafone Idea. Bharti Airtel as the top mover. Indus Towers also coming back after the carnage on Friday. How would you look at these stocks?
So Indus Tower is showing signs of a bounce back. I think this can go towards 420 and 390 would act as a support. And as far as, Vodafone, because many are asking levels of Vodafone, I would say it evolves on a weekly support. Those who have to get into the stock, 10 should be the stop loss. And maybe we can see a bounce back coming at least till 13 rupees. From there, we can have a relook. So absolutely, with a trading perspective and a strict stop loss, Vodafone should give a bounce from the support of 10.
$9.19, ladies and gentlemen, two top stocks in the trading list. Okay, 7% higher on Idea Cellular. Remember, this is the expansion, the actual business that is going to sort of improve for the better. Let's hope so. For those who are Vodafone customers, they are having a terrible time. It's the top traded counter, the top gainer so far. HFCL. This one is for you, Amarji. Your view on HFCL, now 4% higher at 168, the second biggest stock on the NSE 500 in terms of volume. What do you think has changed for the better as far as HFCL is concerned?
See, if you look at HFCL per se, so the stock or the company has been working on its, I would say, finances, and we've seen some profitability growth also in the company over the last few quarters, because if you look at the last, I would say, July or June quarter, that was around 76 crores of net profit, and if you look at the June 24, that's almost 111%. So the company is trying to really come back, and there is a lot of scope and opportunity for the company as well with regard to, I would say, its strategic interest in telecom infrastructure development, system integration. So this is one stock which, if we go back in time and look at this stock in particular, HFCL has traded significantly higher, and then it all collapsed, and then the stock was, I would say, penny stock, but the stock has bounced back significantly. It's very strong technically on the charts, so on a pullback, one can look at a buying opportunity for the stock. Seems to have very strong support coming around the 145, 150 zone. Upside for the stock would be towards the 185, 200 levels, but one needs to be slightly cautious because the stock is also highly volatile.
Okay, got that. Let's again look at what else is buzzing in trade. Auto is moving to the top spot in terms of the sectoral movers, 0.8% higher. Pharma, realty, PSU banks, these are the spaces that are in thick trade. Within the broader markets also, you see some moves that are coming in. On the Nifty Next 50, let's look at some interesting names. You have Zomato, that's further inching higher, 294 right now. Let's get in Vaishali to talk about Zomato now. What's next for this counter once it has already more than doubled in this year so far? Do you further see momentum continuing, and can one still take a dip into this stock, like, you know, at 293 odd levels? Is it a buy?
I would not say so, but if one has to, the stop loss comes at 260. So that's quite a bit to go through. So 260 is the support. So given a chance in dip, that's the level that one should watch for to buy close to the support levels, and look for a target of 310, 320.
$9.22, ladies and gentlemen, this is the right time to look at the broader markets as well. We've seen a great start on the Nifty. Also in the green is Bank Nifty, now 50 points higher, 53,857. In the broader markets, we have at the moment 1571 stocks in the green, 600 in the red. So obviously bulls are on the front foot. Sakshi and I track 19 indices for you, all 19 in the green, led by the pharma index, 1% higher, 2315. Vaishali pointed out the auto index. This is the top, also the top gainer, about 0.8% higher, 26,602. Small caps are in good shape, but the best index to watch is the NSE 500, a fourth of a percent higher, and out of 500 shares, 352 are in the green. The top gainers, I can't fathom why SBFC Finance is in the green, but 9% higher, 96 points. Glenmark taking it away, 6% higher. Let's look at all-time highs. Okay, no stopping Suven Pharma, 3.6% higher, 1260, a fresh peak. Jewelry stocks are doing very well, 760 on Kalyan Jewelers, 4% higher. Mankind Pharma, Sakshi pointed out, to 10,000 crore rupees worth of expansion and fundraise planned, 3.5% higher, 2624. BSE, well, ladies and gentlemen, now above 4,000 rupees, actually above 4,100 rupees. You heard this first at 2,200 on Business Today. Bajaj Auto, M&M. I think M&M is an interesting story ahead. It's broken past all barriers as far as charts are concerned. But coming first to you, Amarji, what is the Angel One view on M&M? We have this new Thar which will open bookings in October around the festive season in North India. What are your thoughts on M&M, Mahindra and Mahindra?
Yeah, so if you look at, see, M&M has been, again, if you look at some of the four-wheeler segments or four-wheeler companies, we witnessed some sort of profit booking there. M&M has been an exception. It's almost trading at its record high, very strong on the chart. So how this plays out in terms of the acceptance by the customers is something we need to watch out for. But at the current levels, I wouldn't recommend buying M&M.
Okay, got it. But the auto space is clearly buzzing, and so is the pharma index now. Pharma index is up by 1%. We've already discussed Glenmark right there, which is the top mover, 6.5% higher. Mankind is up 3.3%. JB Chemicals in pharma, Divis, Gland Pharma, Laurus Labs, the entire space seems to be in the thickest of action. Vaishali, where would you really look for momentum now within the pharma pack?
Well, very hard to tell, but I still currently like Cipla.
Okay,
Cipla and granules also should be good for a bounce back, but Cipla, I think, comparatively is a very slow and a gradual moving stock. So my focus is more on Cipla, and I think granules has really corrected significantly. So I think 532 can act as a stop loss for a bounce of 580.
Okay, got it. 25,900 has happened on the Nifty, viewers. It's for the first time that we have seen the Nifty go past 25,900 mark. We have a new high of 25,910, which we will now refer to. Let's see if 26,000 happens soon and in this expiry week as well. Something. Vaishali, do you expect 26,000 today?
Well, hard to tell, but we are waiting for that target.
Okay, got it. Amarji, with the kind of move that we have been seeing on the Nifty, we are already up about 17% this year so far. How much more do you see on the Nifty as an upside by the year end?
See, Nifty has significantly, I would say, surprised many in terms of the sharp rally that we witnessed, even in September itself, because in the September low was somewhere around 24,750, and it's almost striking distance with 26,000. So it's been a very sharp move. I would say it's like that the bears have really gone into a retreat, and it seems that the bulls are holding very firm. And that's witnessed across sectors. As I said, we'll have to keep a close watch on few stocks. HDFC, Bank, Reliance, ICICI, these and TCS, Infosys. These 4-5 stocks are very important, which will determine the next phase of up move in Nifty. Primarily, I would say HDFC Bank and Reliance to a certain extent. So we need to keep a close watch on them. We've got still the festive season. We've got Diwali. So we'll see whether this sustains, because I've always been talking about that. If you look at the benchmark indices from a long-term perspective, even from an intermediate-term perspective, there's no bearishness. On the short term, there was some consolidation or maybe there's a pullback. Those were all buying opportunities, and that's the view that I still stand for.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is going to be a very strong move coming into Nifty for two reasons. Already a triple digit gain, and look at the contributors that are pulling the index higher. Reliance, the second heaviest weighted counter, is at 2987, and this has contributed 13 points to Nifty's tally. HDFC Bank, which is the heaviest contributor, 11 percentage points of Nifty is made up of HDFC Bank, 12 points in the green. SBI is pulling its weight, 8.8 points in the contribution, and of course, who can forget Bharti Airtel, the top contributor, 18 points, and M&M. Now in 3000 range, ladies and gentlemen, Vaishali, we need your inputs here. 2% higher, and I believe 3013 will be a record high for M&M. Let me just check that, but over to you as far as Mahindra and Mahindra are concerned.
Yes, so I think, yes, of course, as you rightly said, in the new price high category. So I think continue holding with the trailing stop loss. Look for a target of 3100. That is a technical resistance that we are looking at. And yes, so that's the target that we are looking at for now.
Okay, in terms of, you see how prices are moving for large caps. This is a buy and hold trade. So there are two breakouts that we are tracking, Kotak Mahindra Bank and of course Mahindra and Mahindra. Please keep these two in mind. And Sakshi, we will again pay attention to Bombay Stock Exchange for two reasons. It is now the third most active counter on the National Stock Exchange. 375 crores worth of shares have been traded. Again a record high, and Vaishali will give us newer price targets. 4140 for you, Vaishali, BSE.
Yes, so I think we have seen a very good run up. 4200 is the next target resistance. If we still see the stock moving above 42, then we can look for the next target of 4450.
Okay, got it. Well, India VIX is further climbing higher, 6% higher at 13.5. So we'll have to keep one eye on that one as well, even as the markets continue to be at record levels and all the sectors are still buoyant in trade. But we'll keep an eye out on the India VIX right now. M&M, as we are consistently talking about, is now further moving up at 3011 now, 2% higher in trade. Bajaj Auto is also among the top movers as far as the auto space is concerned. So thick trade taking place within the auto space. Now even PSU banks are climbing further up, 1.1% higher for the index as a whole. Let's get Amarji into the conversation. Amarji, we've talked a lot about the private sector banks and how there's been a sharp comeback on several of these leaders, ICICI, HDFC Bank, Kotak, Axis. How about the PSU bank story? We saw it being a laggard in the previous series. This year, this series also, nothing much has happened, but has the pain largely been done and dusted? Do you think now is the time that one should also keep one focus on the PSU banks? Will they come back?
So if you look at the PSU banks, we've seen some sort of pullback because I'll start with, for example, Bank of Baroda. We've seen some correction there. Again, we're seeing some pullback happening there as well, because most of the PSU banks are close to their crucial support zone. And if I look at Bank of India, similar story. Then if I look at Bank of Maharashtra, again, we're seeing some big, similar story, because what's happening is that on the long-term charts, most of the PSU banks are very close to their crucial support zone. Even Canara Bank, for that matter. So most of the PSU banks will witness a pullback, but the big question is how whether it will hold or not. That's something we'll have to watch out for.
Second day running, ladies and gentlemen, Asahi India, now 6% higher, 827. On Friday's rally, this was up 7%, again in the list of record highs from the auto ancillary sector. Asahi India controls a majority of the windscreens and the back screens that go into passenger four-wheelers. So please keep this stock in mind. As far as volume buzzers are concerned, okay, Sakshi's marked Adani Total Gas 5% higher, and already 200% of 5-day average has happened in the first 15 minutes of trade. There's going to be a very serious story coming into Glenmark. Already about 1.45 times the 5-day average has happened. This is a swing trade in the making. Please await a fresh record high on this one in this week itself. As I had mentioned, Cochin Shipyard is now slipping. This is because of the additional surveillance mechanism that has come in. But what is interesting is that at 1843, already 100% of 5-day average has been traded. HFCL going great guns. Cable companies, Finolex Cables, KEC, for some reason are in the green. And of course, if we are talking about Bombay Stock Exchange, how can we forget CAMS? This is the back end company, ladies and gentlemen, that controls the 80% of mutual fund business in terms of SIPs and how you make those investments and how to you. What is CAMS chart telling you? 3% higher, 45.99.
So I would say, of course, CDSL, CAMS, and BSE. They are BSE has outperformed. CDSL still CAMS still has a lot of scope for upside. So I would say 44.30 would act as a support.
Yeah, thank you.
46.30. Am I there?
Vaishali, please continue.
Yes.
So 46.30 or 46.40 would act as a resistance, and above that one can look for 47.20 as well. So it's a buy with 44.30 as support.
Okay, got it. Okay, LIC has moved to the top spot within the PSUs now, 2% higher at 1,032, and we know that entire insurance space has also been in the thick of action last entire 10 days, 15 days odd. So stocks like ICICI Pru Life, ICICI Lombard, HDFC Life, SBI Life, they've all been in the thick of action. LIC is now pulled to the day's high point as well. Vaishali, how would you look at the insurance space really playing out this momentum? Is it sustainable? One should track this?
I think so, because LIC, if you talk about HDFC Life, they all are holding very well and in a good uptrend. So the bias remains positive. Continue holding with the trailing stop loss.
Okay, 9:36, ladies and gentlemen, we have a century on Nifty, 25,900. I will not say 25,897. I will now say 25,900. And it gladdens my heart no end. NSE 500 has a higher percentage gain than Nifty, and it has a higher point gain in the Nifty than the Nifty. 24,308, ladies and gentlemen. This is the index that sets the trend on a daily basis. It's almost a no-brainer to say that this is at a record high as far as prices are concerned. Please do pay attention to this very, very strong rally that has come in on the NSE 500. On Friday, this index gained 340 points, 1.4%, and today it's a new day and a new rally, now above 24,300. Now the stock that I wanted to mark was Fusion Microfinance. This is the top loser today, ladies and gentlemen, 8.5% lower, 280. Again, this is the microfinance business that has sort of disappointed investors a lot, and the all-time high on Fusion Finance, you will not believe, is 680 rupees. It's now below its IPO listed price, and all sorts of negative commentary coming in. A 500 crore wipeout in terms of loans offered. A new management has taken charge. and the new management is trying to do all it can to sort of re-enthuse, how should I say, customer confidence, but well, these are bad days for Fusion Finance. What else is in the red? This is VST Industries, 6% lower, 421. Remember, their biggest shareholder, Mr. Damani, has been on a consistent selling spree, whether that is because of his selling or general profit booking. You see this 6% drop on VST Industries. Pan Asia Bio, 5% lower at 298.65, and of course you have Godfrey Phillips, 7304, 4% lower. This is also something which is looking in the red. Sakshi, what are you watching?
A lot of names in the broader markets that are catching my attention. You know, ITDC is up 5%, for instance. That one has moved up in trade today. ITD Cementation, there's a consistent move on this one. It's now up about 6 odd percent. So let's get in Vaishali here to discuss about this one. I clearly remember this stock has been in thick of action. Let's pull up the last 1 week charts and we'll get to know the kind of surge that we've actually seen on ITD Cementation as well. This is one stock that could be something, yeah, 21% is what it has moved in the last 1 week. Vaishali, how would you really look at the 20% circuit that we actually saw last week, and now again a 6% surge that's continuing on this stock?
I think this should continue to do well. Look for a target of 610, 620 because it has, I mean, when I'm looking at charts of all periodicities, it's in a strong uptrend. So I think one should continue holding. I would not recommend a buy right now, but definitely continue holding to those who have for a target of 620, 630.
Okay, got it. So that's the kind of move that we can expect on this one. Apart from this, some retail stocks are also doing well. So V-Mart retail is up almost 6.5% today. Even V2 retail is buzzing in thick trade. Trent is also buzzing in trade as well. Is there anything specific that you like within the retail space, especially Vaishali? Remember, like how Shail began by saying that the festive spirit is in the air, and this is the time the consumption will actually be at its peak from now onwards, from the time Navratri starts till the time the festive season ends. So there are going to be sales sooner or later. How would you really look at all of these spaces?
So yes, V-Mart is showing a lot of strength. I would say that yes, that continues to be, I mean, one can buy even at these levels. In fact, there are other stocks like Manyavar and all, because talking about festive. So Manyavar, Titan. So Titan is still showing a lot of strength for further upside. So these are all the stocks that we have recommended and we continue to stay positive.
9:41, ladies and gentlemen, things are getting better and better. And where are they getting better? There's a 10% uptick on Idea Cellular, 11.5 for you. There is heavy momentum coming in on the Bombay Stock Exchange. It is now the top traded counter on the National Stock Exchange. 542 crores worth of shares have been traded. Vaishali, have we taken your view on HFCL? 168 now, 4% higher, 500 crores traded. What would you offer from charts?
Well, it's showing a lot of strength. In fact, this has been one of the favorite stocks for everyone. So I would say 180 is the next target resistance. From there on, we can see some little bit of retracement, which gives you another buying opportunity, because when you're looking at a longer term, most of the charts have gone into the overbought. So 180 is the level to look for. If we see sustaining above that, we could look for higher targets. But till then, 180 would be the level to book partial profit as far as trading is concerned.
Okay. Remember, these are two stocks that have been highlighted on the long side by Vineet Bolinshkar. HFCL was the latest that he added to his tally. And of course, he's been long on Markson's Pharma. Bit of profit booking happening on that counter because relative to its valuations, it's become very, very expensive on price. I think, Sakshi, we saw a 17% uptick on Markson's Pharma on Friday. Bit of that money is being booked out, at 308. Vaishali, the medium-term charts of Markson's Pharma, what are they saying?
The trend is intact, but I would say that yes, we've seen good run up. So as long as, I mean, even if I'm seeing the RSI, it is showing some sign of profit booking. So, well, I would say book partial profit or else keep a trailing stop loss of 285, which is quite a bit. So I would say partial profit booking should not be ruled out.
Okay, got it. Partial profit booking should not be ruled out. That's the view that's coming in. Okay, Vaishali, we were talking about Cipla in the pharma space. Now, within the diagnostic space, is Divis Laboratories that's moved to the top spot on the Nifty. It's 2% higher right now. Your sense on this entire diagnostic space and also on Divis, does it remain the top buy?
So Divis, yes, it is showing a lot of strength, but well, we need a follow-up on volume as well. So if it sustains above 5530, which it is right now, if it sustains, then I think 5600, 5800 should be the next levels to watch.
Okay, so that's as far as Divis Laboratories is going. Remember, PSU banks are now taking it away 1.5% higher. SBI is definitely one of the top gainers from that space, 1.5% higher at 793 for SBI. Vaishali, how would you really look at this one? It's been a laggard within the PSU space. How would you really look at SBI now?
I would say SBI actually becomes a good buying opportunity to accumulate because we've seen the stock falling right from 895, 900 levels to a low of around 760. So I guess this is an accumulation zone. Also, it's pretty close to the 200-day moving average. So 750, 760, this is the support band coming right now. I would say accumulation should be the way to go.
Okay, 9:45, the first half an hour has lapsed. I'd like to point out some counters that are doing pretty well and which generally we don't discuss but have a strong traction. Elecon Engineering is back, 4% higher, 661. Remember, this is a 1:1 adjustment on the bonus issue. Keep this in mind. And Sakshi, we need to mark BEL for two reasons. That from September 30th, BEL will be on the Nifty along with well, Trent. This is a stock that we need to watch out on for two reasons, because the weekly chart has seen the high and July 8th. So it's almost what, September, so August, September. So 2 weeks, 3 months of pain is what has been seen on BEL. Vaishali, this is taking support at a very good level. Do you think this is the time to relook at BEL on the long side? From a high of 331, we are now at 283.
Yes, for now, I would take it as a trading strategy with 265 as stop loss and look for a upside to 300. Unless and until we see the stock moving above 300 and sustaining above, we would say that yes, it's back on track. But till then, it's just a trading strategy till 300.
Okay, and Sakshi, this week we will see a digit change on Zomato. Virender Sehwag is known for triple centuries, and possibly you'll see one on Zomato as well. Vaishali, charts of Zomato.
Absolutely buoyant. And yes, so as we mentioned, I think look for a target of 310, 320.
310, 320. Okay, coming in on Zomato soon. That's what Vaishali is pointing out. Okay, let's look at the oil and gas story also picking up further pace now in trade today. We haven't discussed that one. Of course, Adani Total Gas is something that we discussed right at the pre-open levels. But GAIL, ONGC, MGL, BPCL, Petronet, these are all again picking up some further pace. Vaishali, within the entire oil and gas basket, which is the segment that attracts your attention now, and any key stock that you would be looking at?
So well, ONGC, which has corrected so well, and I think it's ready for a takeoff from here. I would say 270 would act as a near-term support, and it's a good buying opportunity.
Okay.
Okay, Sakshi, again, I'm sounding like a broken record, but look at BSE. The reason why I had pointed out earlier was that it became the top traded counter, therefore people were moving into it. That's obvious if you see rising volumes, and if you see rising volumes accompanied by rising price, it's a no-brainer. So a digit change, 4200 is on the cards. Of course, it's there already. Now 5.5% higher. Remember, this has been one of the consistent good lucks that has come to viewers, those who have been watching business today for a while. We started marking it at 2200 rupees, perhaps on its worst day in the life, when there was talk of exchanges reducing FNO, reducing weekly expiries, having just one index from their stable, and there was also one more negativity which I don't remember, but the time was somewhere in August where we had pointed this impending rally that the worst seems to be over, and this was on July 22nd when it hit a low of 2200, but great going since then, and Vaishali has consistently marked this one on the long side. What else is happening today? I would imagine in terms of gains, you would want to see Bikaji Foods, Sakshi, 981. This is something that we've been tracking for a while. Let's just see what the charts are doing today. Vaishali, for you, Bhujia from Bikaji, what are the charts telling you?
Very good upside. It has shown already a good run up. So, well, I think continue holding. This looks very strong even on the weekly and monthly chart. So, I think, well, around say it will go above 1000 very soon and higher targets.
Okay, got it. All right, let me get you to talk about Tata Power now, Vaishali. Within the next 50 on the Nifty, it's now moving towards the top spot. It's 3% higher now. How would you really look at Tata Power inching now at today's high?
So actually, if you remember last time also when I was on the channel, I had recommended Tata Power. I continue to stay bullish. 480, 520 are the next targets that we are looking at.
Okay, fantastic. All right, still looking positive for Tata Power. Okay, some of the defense erstwhile favorites are making slight comeback. HAL, BEL both inching about 1.5% higher in trade. Anything that looks positive here, or still it's going to be lying low and in a range right now, Vaishali?
See, market is, I mean, they have done enough corrective moves. So I think they all look quite positive for a bounce back. But one sector which really appeals to me right now is cement sector. If you look at Ambuja, ACC, also Ultratech Cement, they are all looking so good at these levels. I think Ambuja and ACC should not be a miss. Especially Ambuja, if you look at it, I think the worst is over. 590 should act as a support. And from here on, one can look at higher targets. So I think cement sector should be the focus, which will be giving us good returns from here.
Okay, it's a very strong move that has come in onto the Nifty. It's taken out 25,900. Let's look at the contributors to this move as far as prices are concerned. Remember, I am repeatedly saying those who buy and hold will make more money than daily traders. So Reliance is now contributing 17.5 points. This is the top boy on the Nifty. Bharti Airtel 17 points. Remember, both Reliance and Bharti Airtel are actually telecom plays, so keep that in mind. M&M 12% higher, 12 points to the tally, 2% higher on the counter. SBI and HDFC Bank in the green. So this is the positivity on the index, and now the next resistance is at 25,950. This is mostly how should I say, foregone conclusion. that 26,000 is upon us, and across the board. Let's look at the advanced decline on the Nifty. This is strong. 40 shares out of 50 are in the green, and I have mentioned the index heavyweights that are pulling it up. How about the mid cap 100? Out of 100 shares, 72 in the green, index 0.5% higher. In the small cap, the rally is stronger. 76 stocks in the green compared with 23 in the red, and of course we've marked the NSE 500 earlier also. Within the small cap index, let's look at record highs. Okay, Shyam Metallics 936 for you, 2% higher. Within the mid cap, let's look at record highs. Bombay Stock Exchange, Mankind Pharma, from the touristy space, Indian hotels, jewelry. We have two ladies on the panel today. Kalyan Jewelers 775. I don't know whether Vaishali is buying jewelry stocks or whether she is buying jewelry. Vaishali, across the board, TBZ, Kalyan Jewelers, Senco Gold, Titan, all of them rejoicing this sharp burst that we've seen on global gold prices. Which is your favorite jewelry shop and which is your favorite jewelry stock?
Titan.
Well
So
said.
yeah,
Titan.
yes,
For both?
yes, for both. So Titan is expensive. If you go to shop, it is expensive,
Okay.
but well, it's Tata.
Okay, so you've discussed Tata
That's
Power and you've discussed Titan. Which other Tata stock is your now current favorite, Vaishali?
So we spoke about Tata Power. Now it's Tata Consumer and also Tata Technology. So
Okay.
yes.
So Tata Tech, let's pull up Tata Tech. That will be interesting, Vaishali, to discuss further. Remember, this is one stock where we have seen so many of our viewers continue to ask us on our daily calls show, when will this stock now start to perform? When will this stock finally start to rally as well? Now that you say that you're looking at it positively at 1124, let's also pull up the 1 week and 1 month chart of Tata Tech for our viewers to really see whether the momentum has been consistently building from the last few weeks. So 2% on the last 1 week. Let's also pull up 1 month chart also for Tata Tech. It's moved up about 7% odd. Last few days, it's definitely come back like Vaishali pointed out. So 1124 for you. Vaishali, what's next for Tata Tech?
So of course we hardly have any data as far as the technicals is concerned, but yes, to start with, let's have a look at it for a target of 1250. That's how I would look at it, because it's gone into deep consolidation for a very long time, and that would imply that yes, once it takes off, we will get good returns. So Tata Tech, to start with, 1250 should be better.
Okay, I'll circle back to Adani stocks now, viewers. Adani Enterprises has moved to the top spot on the Nifty, 1.7% higher. You have Adani Total Gas that's up 7.7%. Adani Energy Solutions that's up 2.5% higher in trade. You also have stocks like Ambuja Cements that already Vaishali has highlighted, that's also up by about 0.6% odd or so. So the entire space seems to be in thick of action. Adani Power up 0.5% as well. Coming back to you, Vaishali, on the Adani stocks. If someone has to start accumulating the stocks at these levels, which are the two stocks that you will be looking at from Adani stocks portfolio?
So I would look at Adani Energy, Adani Green, Adani Total. These are the stocks I think should do well in times to come. And technically, we have seen that it's quite far away from its previous high, and I think it has just been in a consolidation phase. So yes, these are the stocks from the cash counter and Adani Ports from the F&O counter.
And the other stock to look at is Godrej Properties. I'll explain the reason a little later, but Vaishali, this is something that you have to mark. 3056 on Godrej Properties. It's been a very, very long consolidation period which started early August, and now there seems to be a range breakout. What are the charts of Godrej Properties telling you?
I think overall full realty sector is showing a lot of strength, and Godrej Properties, I think it's quite likely that this can go towards 3350 once again. So yes, the view is positive. It's got into a trend.
Apart from Godrej Properties, the other stock to watch out is Bajaj Auto. No matter how much we try to ignore this because of its high ticket item and the fact that it's run up so sharply, but there is absolutely no let up.
And in
for
fact,
this
Shail,
reason,
sorry
it
to
is,
butt you in.
Vaishali who will.
And sorry to
tell
butt
me.
you in, Shail. I think last week
Tell me.
itself, the management of Bajaj Auto has clearly come out and said that we will see Bajaj Auto at 20,000 levels also soon to news media as well. So those are some of the reports that I was reading out. So good time to ask Vaishali, when is that going to happen, and whether one should just go ahead and grab Bajaj Auto at 12,200.
I would not agree so, because all the charts are in a deep overbought. So, well, I would be a bit cautious. I would continue holding it with a trailing stop loss.
Okay. You see, caution along with the, hope and expectations are two things that create super long-term wealth in the markets. There is the management which says 20,000 is in the offing, and here is Vaishali that says please watch your step. One thing is clear: if you hold the stock, this is not the time to exit. We are in one of those great bull runs as far as two-wheeler themes are concerned, and Sakshi, we've pointed this out many times. Till about 4 weeks ago, the management again came into media and said that this festive season they hope to sell 100,000 EV two-wheelers, electric vehicle two-wheelers each month in this festivity that is upon us. And of course, the moment Ola Electric got listed, every single two-wheeler stock got a market cap value of its EV business, and that's the reason why that Ola listing actually triggered a positive move on Hero Motors, on Bajaj Auto, and to some extent even TVS and Eicher Motors. So please keep that in background. And of course, as Sakshi says, Sakshi quotes the management as saying that they feel 20,000 is on the charts. When the stock was at 8,000 rupees, the management said we feel 12,000, and there is 12,000 for you. And let's hope what the management says, 20K happens. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the primary example of what a bull market can do to your portfolio. Sakshi.
Absolutely. We'll thank you, Vaishali, for being with us on this very special edition. It was great to be chatting with you, as is always, and I hope you have a fantastic day and the next few days till the time we see you back on Business Today Television. Thank you so much for being with us. And with that, viewers, we'll start wrapping up. It's been a great start for the markets for this entire day and also a week. We've seen 25,925 as the new high that we are going to be now referring to as far as the Nifty is concerned. For the first time, we've seen 25,900 go past by as well. We'll see how soon will the next milestone be seen on the markets right now. It's in a fine shape. All the sectors, barring say slight losses on the IT pack, they're all up and about, and stocks within oil and gas, PSU banks, autos, pharma, those are the ones that are in thick trade. We'll continue to chat with the top market experts throughout the course of the day to now continue to tell you where exactly is the momentum continuing. With that, it's a wrap on the show, and thanks from both Shail and me. We'll be back shortly with more shows and more top market experts. Stay with us.
I'm standing here outside an iconic Apple store with a very special guest on tech today, Karen Rasmussen from Apple. What a pleasure to have you on the show.
Oh, well, thanks for having me. I'm thrilled to be here.
Karen, I